Good morning and welcome to the Applington-Parkersburg Honor Society's Veterans Day Assembly. We are so grateful for your presence today as we come together to honor and remember the brave men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces. This event is a meaningful opportunity for all of us to reflect on their sacrifices and show our deepest appreciation. Thank you for joining us in this special occasion as we pay tribute to our veterans and their unwavering dedication to our country. When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom and to aid our friends and allies and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today.
These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. Those words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and Gulf War veterans as well. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans who are helping to maintain peace throughout the world.
Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifice. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it. Today, we celebrate America's veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave. At this time, if you are able, please stand and remove your caps as the Applington-Parkersburg Choir sings the Star-Spangled Banner. I will now recite a poem in honor of our veterans today. On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to a service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
Veterans Day means to me is thanking my grandpa that served.
Veterans Day means a lot to me. I don't think we give enough recognition to our veterans. There's never really anything we can do to repay them. It also makes me think of my grandpa, who's a veteran. Really kind of instilled in me and my brothers that veterans are important, and we would be where we are without their sacrifice.
What Veterans Day means to me is thanking the ones who protected our nation.
What Veterans Day means to me is honoring and thanking the people who serve to protect our freedom.
I'd like to say thank you to all the veterans who have chosen to defend this country. I appreciate it, and your sacrifices do not go unnoticed. Thank you.
What Veterans Day means to me is freedom for all.
Veterans Day means to me is letting people know who served our country that we appreciate them and think about them.
Veterans Day means to me all of the brave soldiers that have fought for our freedoms. I just appreciate the ability to live in a country where many people go to war for us, no matter what branch they serve. I'm just honored that they fought for our safety, security, and just completely humbled by their years of service.
Veterans Day to me means remembering people who fought like my grandpa. What Veterans Day means to me is thinking of the people that serve for our freedom.
When I think of Veterans Day, I think of how grateful and thankful I am to be an American and live somewhere that we have the freedoms that we have. I especially thank veterans like my grandparents and grandfather, his brothers, and some very special neighbors and elders in my community that were drafted into conflict and fought for our freedom. So to all veterans, thank you for your sacrifice and thank you for your fight for freedom.
Well, good morning. I'd just like to welcome our students, our staff, community, but a special welcome to our veterans and their spouses or family members who have attended today. John Kennedy once stated, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. Due to our veterans in our community, we're able to talk about things like school spirit, Red Pride. We're able to represent our school, our community. We're able to have activities and play games, sporting events, have fine arts here in our auditorium. Some of you may even one day serve our country, go beyond just our community. To our veterans who served, the sacrifice you made, the commitment you made to something bigger than yourselves, we are forever in debt and thankful for what you did for our freedoms so that we can know life as we know it today. Billy Graham once stated, "Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened." Courage. Bravery doesn't just mean that you aren't scared. It means that you go anyway. I can't fathom going to boot camp at 17 or 18 years old. Can't imagine, as some people in this room were drafted and told they will go serve a war. Can't fathom going halfway across the world at the age of some of our seniors, or soon to be even juniors and seniors, to serve their country, to maybe go with no friends that they knew, to an area that they'd never been. The very men and women in this auditorium were willing to do just that for us, and for that all we can say is thank you. Some of you maybe did not serve in a war, but you still did leave your families, your friends, your communities to go and be prepared if anything was asked of you. We thank you, not just you, but your family, for your sacrifice and your commitment to our freedoms. This nation will remain land of the free as long as it is home of the brave. We are honored to have some of our very own who've made this decision. At this time, I'm going to ask just to come down front here. Kate and Cody Drehobel, if you'd please come down. Hunter McBride, Gage Rottinghouse, if you're here. I don't know if Gage, he might have college class. These four men are already enlisted. Kate and Cody Drehobel actually went this summer and completed basic training, so they have started their military journey. If we can get a round of applause for these guys for what they're going to do. Thank you, fellas. I also know we may have some others who are thinking about enlisting. And we do encourage you, we're fortunate here. Our guest speaker today, it's a pleasure to introduce Staff Sergeant Cody Bailey. She become more of a friend at AP than just our recruiter. She's been extremely active in our hallways and done a great job. Her official biography. Staff Sergeant Cody Bailey was born and raised in southeast Iowa. She enlisted in the Iowa National Guard in September 2017 as a dental specialist and served for 6 years with the Iowa Medical Readiness Detachment. Following that, she serves as a cadre in the Recruit Sustainment Program of the Alpha Company on Camp Dodge, mentoring new soldiers as they began their military journey. For the past 2 years, Staff Sergeant Bailey has continued her service as a recruiter for the Iowa Army National Guard, helping others find purpose and opportunity through military service. Staff Sergeant Bailey holds an Associate's of Arts degree from Indian Hills Community College, a bachelor's degree in English and creative writing, and a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary sciences from the University of Iowa. She was currently pursuing her master's degree in child and adolescent development psychology from Southern New Hampshire University. She has also helped set up where our football team got to go to Camp Dodge. That was due to her. Our wellness day for our 20-some kids who went to Camp Dodge, that was because of her. She's spoken to our teachers, did a great job at an in-service. She's provided us lunches. She's always finding ways to make an impact at AP. Not only that, I think her best trait is she truly cares about young people and wants what's best for them. I'm not certain what she's going to share, but she has an unbelievable story knowing her background as a student and what the service has done for her. But let's give a warm round of applause for Staff Sergeant Cody Bailey.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Oh, AP, you can do better than that. Good morning. There we go, okay. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today, honoring the men and women who wore the uniform of the United States military, and that is our veterans. If you haven't met me, I'm Staff Sergeant Cody Bailey, and I have the privilege of being not just the recruiter, Mr. Thomas, the world's best recruiter in Iowa for the Iowa Army National Guard, and I get to do something every day that I don't take lightly, and I ask people to serve our country. And I know we already did it, but I want to do it just one more time because I think it's really important, and I have something to say to these gentlemen. But if you're a student and you enlisted, can you please stand up one more time? Now, if you're a student and you're planning on enlisting, can you please stand up? Perfect. Can we give them yeah, there we go. Can we give them another round of applause? You can stay seated, but for you four that stood up, I'm specifically talking to you for this, okay? You may not be considered veterans yet. In fact, none of you are. If you Google it, it says you have to have X amount of years, and you have to have all these credentials. So you may not be given that title yet. That comes a little later. And you may not be given a bunch of thanks today, but I want you to hear this from me. Your decision to join the military matters just as much. You said yes to something very few will ever do. You said yes to the unknown. You said yes to a challenge that will shape you into something greater than you can even imagine right now. You may not have worn the uniform long, and for some of you, you haven't worn it at all. But you've already made a choice that connects you to a legacy, and that's the same legacy that we're honoring here today. So from me and every veteran in this room, I want to say thank you. Seeing young people step up today makes me think about all those who came before them and how their decision changed the world. It's made me think a lot lately about what saying yes truly means, not just for one person, but for an entire nation. As a recruiter, I ask the question all the time, would you consider joining the military? But when I think about the generations of veterans who came before us, I can't help but think to myself, one more question. What if they said no? What if the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy said no? What if the women who nursed wounded soldiers in field hospitals across Europe said no? What if the soldiers who patrolled the jungles of Vietnam, the deserts of Iraq, or the mountains of Afghanistan said no? What kind of world would we live in today? What freedoms would we have lost? What opportunities may have never existed? These are heavy questions, but they're important ones. Because when I put on this uniform and ask someone to serve, I'm not just talking about a job. I'm inviting them into a legacy, a chain of courage, sacrifice, and selflessness that stretches back for generations. Veterans Day is about that legacy. It's not about the people who didn't say no, the ones who said yes, not because it was easy, but because it was right. They said yes even when they were scared. They said yes even when it meant missing birthdays, holidays, and years with their families. They said yes even when the outcome was uncertain. And that yes changed history. Because every yes carried a story of courage, of sacrifice, and a story of love for something greater than themselves. When I talk to young men and women about enlisting, I try to be honest. Military service isn't easy. It's not for everyone. It demands discipline, strength, and heart. But it also gives back in ways few other things can, through pride, purpose, and a sense of belonging. And the older I get, the more I realize that I'm not just asking people to join an organization. I'm asking them to continue a promise that began with the very first Americans who stood up for freedom, a promise to protect, defend, and serve. The promise lives on in every veteran we honor here today. Some veterans come home and built our communities, our towns, our schools, and our businesses. Some came home quietly and never spoke about what they had seen. Some came home carrying invisible wounds that we can't always see, but they're just as real. And some never came home at all. Every single one of them deserves to be remembered, not just with words, but with action. Veterans Day isn't just a day off. It's a reminder. A reminder that our freedom is not automatic, it's not guaranteed, and it's definitely not free. Freedom costs something, and every veteran we have was willing to pay that cost. Sometimes people tell me, I could never do what you do, Staff Sergeant Daly. I could never convince someone to join the military. And when I hear that, I always laugh, and I tell them, I don't convince anyone. I just give them the chance to make the same choice that so many of them before them made, the chance to say yes. Because every veteran at one point was just a person standing at a crossroads. They could have said no, but they didn't. And because of that, because of their yes, we live in a country where we can speak freely, dream freely, vote freely, and build a future freely. Their yes gave us that. So today we honor veterans, and I want you to think of the weight of that yes. Think about the courage it took to raise a hand and say, I will. Think about the families who stood behind them, the parents, the spouses, and children who served in their own way by supporting them. Think about the generations of service members who said yes so that we wouldn't have to wonder what life would be like if they didn't. To every veteran in this room, and to those we lost, thank you. Thank you for saying yes, thank you for serving, and thank you for protecting this country and everything it stands for. You didn't just change history, you made it. And for myself, every time I talk to someone about enlisting, I remember that I'm standing on the shoulders of people who gave everything. That I have a duty not just to recruit soldiers, but to honor the ones who came before them. And I remember that question, what if they said no? Because it reminds me why I wear this uniform and why I'm proud to keep that legacy going. But before I finish, I want to challenge you, especially to the students in the room. Today or this week, if you know a veteran, maybe it's a teacher, a family member, a neighbor, take a moment to ask them one simple question. Why did you say yes? Because every veteran has a reason. Some said yes because it was family tradition, and that's honorable. Some said yes because they wanted a challenge or a way to build a better future. That's honorable. Some said yes because they wanted to be a part of something bigger than themselves. That's honorable too. There's no wrong reason to say yes. Every yes matters, and every yes has helped build the freedom that we enjoy today. So don't just thank them, listen to them. Learn their stories and understand what their yes meant for them, for their families, and for all of us. Because if they hadn't said yes, we might not be standing here today, free to ask that question at all. Thank you for letting me share today, and thank you to our veterans for their service, their sacrifice, and their example. May we always remember their courage, and may we always honor their yes.
The flag folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our country was originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue, containing the stars representing the states our veterans served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted when draped as a pall on a casket of a veteran who has served our country in uniform. In the armed forces of the United States, at the ceremony of retreat, the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle fold, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning it is brought out and, at the ceremony of reveille, run aloft as a symbol of our belief in the resurrection of the body. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departing our ranks who gave a portion of their life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by the comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
I will now be reciting a poem to honor our veterans. A prayer for veterans. Proud of our nation, they answered her call, defending the freedom and safety of all. On land or on sea, or in jets high above, they went out of duty in honor and love. But however they served, Lord, wherever they went, please bless them and help them to know what it meant, and help us to thank them on Veterans Day, for we owe them far more than we could ever say.
At this time, we invite everyone who is able to please rise, remove your hats, and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to honor our flag and the freedoms our veterans have protected. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now call the roll.
Bob Smines, Army. Denton Eulenhoff, Army.
Elvin Miller, Army. Dwayne Johnson, Army.
Clarence Karshins, Army. Ronald Broquet, Army.
Paul Weber, Army. Joe Walbom, Army.
Dale Nook, Army. Alan Meyer, Army.
Mark Youngberg, Army. Steve Westoff, Army.
Dave Mulder, Army. Sean McLean, Army.
Wendell Apkiss, Army. Herman Luring, Army.
Travis Fleschner, Army. Cody Daly, Army.
Nathan Books, National Guard. Roland DeGroat, National Guard.
Carol Lilienthal, Navy. John Lilienthal, Navy.
Jennifer Drehobel, Air Force. Jerry Drehobel, Air Force. Roger Timmer, Air Force.
The band will now play the Armed Forces Salute. If you know someone or have a family member that has served or is currently serving, please stand during the song that represents the branch of service. Navy. Coast Guard. The Air Force.
As we conclude today's ceremony, I'd just like to take a moment to thank the AP Honor Society for their work in putting this on. They take a lot of pride in this every year and do a great job with it. Also, a special thank you to Mr. Mahler and the AP Band, Mr. Bieber and the AP Choir for performing today as well. A special thank you to Staff Sergeant Daly, not just for speaking here today, but for all you do and the example you are for our young people. To our students, as you get ready to go to second hour, I do ask that you do reflect on the words of Staff Sergeant Daly and what she said, her challenge of those veterans that you know, taking time to talk with them. And as you are dismissed from class today, I ask that you just stop by, make sure you say hi to the folks who came here today, or tell them thank you for their service on your way out of the auditorium. To our veterans and guests, we thank you for coming. If you will wait for about 2 minutes, it'll take them about that long to get out, and then I have some instructions in case you're going to Applington. But one more round of applause for our AP Honor Society students. With that, students will head to second hour. We'll send out an email to the teachers on what time we'll transition to third hour, and then fourth hour will begin. But students, as you leave, please take a moment, say hi, thank our guests as you leave. Take a walk past them.